Consultations and courses. Why make a decision between the two when you don't really have to? I presently have a consultation and courses offer open where any consultation that you schedule with me is going to give you a membership to my Vedic astrology courses community, which gives you access to 300 plus hours of Vedic astrology video courses, plus the capacity to attend all of my ongoing live webinar courses. So if you schedule the Ask Me a Question consultation, only $40, you get 1 year of membership to my Vedic astrology courses community. If you schedule the simple astrology session, which is 1 hour and only $99, that's going to get you 2 years of membership to my Vedic astrology courses community. And if you schedule any consultation, $149 or over, you'll get a lifetime membership to my Vedic astrology courses community. And here's where you can go to take advantage of all the juicy good bits that are on offer to you. Speaking of juicy good bits, Love in the Dark. Now, I know that that's conjuring up some ideas and thoughts, and hey, it's tempting to go there. And I'm not one to actually stop you because, hey, what could be sexier than honesty with yourself that leads to you being more honest with the others that are in your life and the opening up of vulnerabilities and expression of vulnerabilities leads to a greater level of intimacy. And we know one of the best ways to discharge that energy is, well, I think you get the idea. But that's not precisely what I'm here to talk to you about today on the sexual side of the situation. Instead, what I'm here to talk to you about is more about being able to love your own darkness, to take a look at your own shadow and not really see it as such a horrible or negative thing, even in the face of harsh criticism that you may be dealing with over the next few days. Because you see, in the midst of all of the incessant chatter that may be going on behind your back and, yes, in front of your face, you and perhaps only a few others know why you made the decisions that you did. You've had to make some difficult committed decisions in recent days. And to be quite honest, having to kind of come to a decision with these particular options has been a bit of a balancing act. And at least two of the planets involved in all of this alignment, aside from Venus and Pluto, are in Nakshatras that deal with the concept of balancing out. And Pluto in Shravana deals with the concept of juggling lots of different things. And let's face it, you've had to have quite a few balls up in the air. Oops, don't go there. Now, stop thinking like that. Seriously, you've had to have quite a few balls up in the air, and it's only natural that you can't, like, perfectly juggle all of that. You see, people have a tendency to call out the darker side of the situation. Why? Because talking about all that dark stuff, it really gives people a lot to gossip about. And when we are able to gossip about things about other people, it distracts our attention from having to take a look at ourselves. So people will generally tend to call out the darker side of people without knowing the hero or the heroine who's actually facing the struggle that they can't understand. So the question is, in the coming days, how deeply should you actually listen to the criticism that perhaps is all around you? Because we've got Venus transiting through Kritika, and it's interestingly enough, Kritika sounds just like critical, and there can be the concept of criticism that's active, with Venus transiting through Kritika. But equally, the concepts of diplomacy are there in the background, and the capacity to heal. So how deeply should you listen to the criticism that's perhaps coming from other people? And Shravana can deal with other people talking about things. So how deeply should you listen to it? Back to the subject at hand. Well, there is perhaps a grain of truth that you can take in from the words that are spoken. But you know what? It's really great to be accountable. But perfection is something to aspire to, whereas the song of your own soul sings its own poems and ballads of commitments that perhaps nobody else can really truly ever understand or decipher. I mean, think of the concept of like when you're listening to music, right? You'll hear a set of lyrics, and maybe years later, the artist will come out and say why they chose those words or why they wrote the song. And you've identified with that song in a certain way, and the artist wrote it for a completely different reason. We're all on very deeply varied paths. What one person is seeing on the surface does not necessarily equate with what's going on within the realm of your own existence. We can never really fully understand the path of another person, but yet we really like to talk about all the mistakes they've made, how they're doing things that are stupid, and how we think that they should do all these other different things. So perfection is something to aspire to, but you have your own path. And if you go too deeply, I'm not saying that you shouldn't take on board some of the criticism, but if you go too deeply into it, you're only going to find yourself juggling more balls. There's that word again. And with yourself doing that, you're likely going to find that you cannot commit to absolutely everything and absolutely everyone. And perhaps that's a lesson with this alignment between Venus and Pluto. It's one of understanding the most important things in your life that you really should be having a very deep commitment to. And that all starts with the person that you look at in the mirror every single morning. That's the first person that you have to answer to. You have to answer to yourself daily, right? So you don't want to ignore some of the things that are coming to the surface because then that can lead you in a position of perhaps being a little bit too proud. And the latter part of this particular transit, it does have Venus in Rohini, and Rohini can be a little bit prone to pride, but it can equally be prone to growing and nurturing things, especially the things that are most important to us. You see, this Venus-Pluto alignment also has Saturn and Neptune in the balance. Both of those planets are in Uttara Bhadrapada, and one of the qualities of Uttara Bhadrapada causes us to take a deeper look at our shadow side. So a lot of this is coming to the surface so that you're able to see it and be aware of it. But it doesn't mean that you have to fix everything all at once, right? I mean, because again, let's face it, you're dealing with quite a lot. There's a lot of things that you're having to kind of balance out all of your commitments to. So you and you alone get to decide the most important things for you to balance out. You and you alone get to decide where your devotion and where your commitment lies. And in that, you have to be willing to accept the outcome of committing to those things and being devoted to those things. If you go in the opposite direction, of trying to live fully the life that all those other people seem to say you should be living, let's face it, you're not going to be singing your own soul's song. And that ultimately is the most important thing that you can do. You need to focus on walking your path, not with pride, but equally honoring the fact that the path that you're walking is yours and yours alone, regardless of what others may say. You have to make the decisions. You have to foster trust in yourself and connections, foster connections of trust with those who are most important in your life. But you can't balance absolutely everything, no matter how much you might like to. But if you could use a little bit of help balancing some of the things in your life, again, I do have a consultation and courses offer that I mentioned at the earlier part of this video, where every consultation that you schedule with me is going to get you a membership to my Vedic astrology courses community. You can find more information on that at the link that you'll see above. So thank you so very much for watching this video. on Venus's alignment with Pluto, Venus in Kritika and Rohini with Pluto in Shravana. Please feel free to leave your comments down in the comments section below. Let me know how these things are building up for you. This alignment is at its most intense between right now, as I'm shooting this video, it's the 5th of July, and to about the 7th or the 8th. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, please do take the very best care of yourself. Bye now.